Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 200 of Looking at Stamps. And today we celebrate the new stamp release of the Voices of the Harlem Renaissance. The first day of issue was yesterday, Thursday, the 21st of May. And it is a series of 4 stamps, and you get 5 sets for a total of 20 stamps. These are forever stamps, current value of 55 cents. So the sheet or the pane sells for $11. The Harlem Renaissance was an intellectual, social, and artistic explosion centered in Harlem during the 1920s in New York City. At the time, it was known as the New Negro Movement, named after the New Negro, a 1925 anthology edited by one of these stamps featured personnel, Alain Locke. The movement also included the new African American cultural expressions across the urban areas in the Northwest and Midwest, as was affected by the Great Migration, of which Harlem was one of the largest areas to receive these people. Though it was centered in Harlem neighborhood, many Francophile black writers from African and Caribbean colonies who lived in Paris were also influenced by the movement, which spanned from about 1918 until the mid-1930s. The first person we're going to look at today is Nella Larsen. Nella Larsen was an American novelist. She was born in 1891 and died in 1964. She's primarily known for her 2 novels, Quicksand, which was published in 1928, and Passing, which was published in 1929. She was a nurse in Harlem and later in the Bronx, and earned her degree in nursing. She worked a little bit at Tuskegee Institution and met Booker T. Washington there. She later became a librarian in 1923 and began writing in 1925. The next person is Arturo Schaumburg, who was a historian, writer, and activist. He was born in 1874 and died in 1938. He was a Puerto Rican of African and German descent. He wrote about the contributions of Afro-Latin Americans and African Americans, and by 1929 he amassed a collection of the largest collection of artworks, manuscripts, rare books, and slave narratives and other artifacts of black history, which became the basis of the New York Public Library's division of Negro history. The third person highlighted is Anne Spencer. She was a poet, teacher, and civil rights activist. She was born in 1882 and died in 1975. She was the first African American poet to be included in the Norton Anthology of American Poetry. Even though she lived in Virginia, she was associated with the collection of writers known in the Harlem Renaissance movement, of which Langston Hughes and Zora Neale Hurston, who both have their own stamps, by the way, were notables. And those were the only 2 people that I knew of this particular movement. Once again, that's Langston Hughes, the poet, and Zora Neale Hurston, the novelist. So all these other people I actually had to look up and do some research on. So I didn't know about any of these people prior to the stamp release. The last person we're going to look at is who is considered the dean of the Harlem Renaissance, is Alain Locke. He was a philosopher, writer, and educator. He was born in 1885 and died in 1954. And it's upon his anthology that the title of the Harlem Renaissance was first established. Locke's philosophy of the New Negro was grounded on the concept of race building. Its most important component is overall awareness of the potential black equality. No longer would blacks allow themselves to adjust themselves or comply with unreasonable white requests. The idea was based upon self-confidence and political awareness. Although in the past the laws regarding equality had been ignored without consequence, Locke's philosophical idea of the new Negro allowed for fair treatment. Because this was an idea and not a law, its power was held in the people. If they wanted this idea to flourish, they were the ones who would need to enforce it through their actions and overall points of view. And that is the 4 stamps in the Voices of the Harlem Renaissance. I'll show them to you again. We have Nella Larsen, Arturo Schaumburg, Anne Spencer, and Alain Locke. And folks, that is all the time we're going to have for today. And more importantly, that is all the time we're going to have for a little while, because the Looking at Stamps episodes are going to go on hiatus for the summer. We will return in August, where we'll begin another series of 100 episodes. So I am going to take a break to get my act together and store and recatalog some of the stamps I've been highlighting. I will do special episodes of new stamp releases as they become available during the hiatus, but I will return with another 100 episodes in August. So I hope you have a great summer. Go back and you can look at the YouTube videos, which I will be editing all of the closed captions during this slowdown and hiatus period. But thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. Have a great summer, and I will see you in August. Bye-bye.